What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs, episode 88, a polar opposite pod from episode 87. Me and Mila are upset human beings. Mila's laughing it off. That's how he's dealing with it. I'm going to laugh it off too, because this was a terrible midweek for us, but Grant's team did pick up all 3 points in a emphatic 4-1 win over Aston Villa to make that Champions League race just that much tighter. We will talk about Liverpool because they suck. Yeah. I get some enjoyment out of today's episode, just a little bit. And then we'll talk about the relegation battle, which has 1 point separating Tottenham Hotspurs, the Chicken Ball FC, and the drop. And it should be a good one. Oh, man. Oh, we're going to rip into some teams, my team included. And it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. So let's just kick on into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. I'm Dylan. Please, they just got punched in the mouth. They didn't even know how to react.
That is one Derby Diamond.
I'm Mila. Do we want to do a little prediction? That was the last time they showed an initiative to go get a fucking player.
City is still alive here. Balotelli. Aguero.
I'm Grant. They're talking a lot about you 15. How will you respond 15?
We downgraded from Peppa. Do you know how absurd that is?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
Predicky counter. I blinked. I went 0 for 3. I don't think I've done that this year, so I take that one on the chin and I move on.
Throwing something on the grill.
Luckily for me, there was only one other correct result for you guys, which was Chelsea. I took a draw. They took a win. Mila took Garnacho, who looked fantastic as his man of the match, and Grant rightfully took João Pedro after Mila was talking his crap, and he dropped a hat trick. So I don't think any of the predictions we really saw coming, but that's the predicky counter for you, right? Just as plug
For me.
341 as of today. So thank you guys for joining us. And if you haven't already subscribed, you should. That's a mistake because we post quality content every single day, both domestic and abroad. And the abroad stuff has been going on for we're getting close to 2 years, which is kind of crazy to say. Like, it's probably another 6 months away, which, like, in the grand schemes of the podcast, isn't that long away. You know, it seems farther away, but seriously, if you aren't already, do the things at the bottom. Like, subscribe, comment, follow us on social medias. And without further ado, let's get this kick started with a spike to the podcast, which is Arsenal are now 7 points clear after they beat Brighton in one of the most disgusting performances I've ever seen in my entire life. From a Premier League leading team, as they went to Brighton, didn't hold the ball, had like one shot on target for 70% of the game. But they saw it a victory. And although the game was played for, 60 minutes, they saw it a victory. And then on the other side of that coin is City were up twice in a match and dropped points to a relegation team, or a team fighting for relegation at home, which sparks the conversation right back up to where we were at probably 3 or 4 pods ago when City weren't on that form upwards and they were kind of at a lull. I think should we start with, I didn't expect City to win every game for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't really know where to go with this. I mean, here's the thing that I'll preface this whole video with is Grant, myself, and Mila all did 5 things videos or match reaction videos. So if you want to hear like our in-depth analysis of the breakdowns of those games, go ahead and listen to those because those are going to be a lot more insightful. But I think for the topics today, we'll talk more broadly speaking about the races and kind of where we see this as, is it 10 games left?
It's 8 for Arsenal, I think, and 9 for City.
Okay, so wow, that's not. So it's literally the final stretch here. So
Yeah.
Arsenal now have to drop 2 other games besides the Ep.88 game, right?
No, we have a game in hand.
You guys have that. Oh, okay, so one.
Yeah,
other.
They need to draw a game. Realistically, when I talked about that, the title race being in their hands, like it's not far gone by any means. We're still in the title race, but it went from being in our control to being in Arsenal's control because now they have to drop points, regardless of whether we're perfect or not, which I don't think we will be. But if we want to win, kind of need to be perfect.
Yeah. Their road to getting the Premier League just became that much more easier just because their stretch of games in the Champions League isn't nearly as hard. Their tough fixtures come against you guys pretty much until the semis of the Champions League. And the rest of their fixtures, while every game in the Premier League is hard, it's not on paper they will be the favorite in every matchup. So I mean, look, if they bottle it now, right? If this would be a bottle job in comparison to the rest of their attempts, right, to say the least. Like you said, it's in their hands. There's no City win a game against them, and they still have that game to work with now. The game at hand is no longer there. So I don't know where we want to start this or go with this conversation other than you.
You?
You, yeah, like
Yes, you. Yeah, I guess we could talk on that ugly Brighton performance. I touched on it on my video list yesterday a little bit, but they don't need to win convincingly to win the title. It's gross, but to get over the hump, they have to do something. And if they can win ugly, then okay. I just don't want to hear any talk of we're the best team in the world, because the best team in the world wouldn't do this. I don't know. They could drop points. I think they will, but we might also drop points. So I'm looking at that Carabao Cup final as like a very pivotal game, and I've already was, but even more so now. I think we really have to take it to them and make them not want to be on the pitch anymore. Just instill doubt into their team, and then make it just a tough, final month and a half, 2 months to run away with the title. Like, just don't make it easy for them. That's all I'm really looking for at this point.
They're just one of those teams that can get by winning games by 1 or 2 goals. They just don't concede very many easy chances. And through the run in there, that's what makes me think that if they are going to win it this year, that's going to be like a lot of these performances where they just do enough to scrape over the line. I think the more and more that they play this style, which Arteta seems fine with doing, and to be fair, if they win a title, they have every right to do it. But I think the more and more that these games continue, you're going to see more and more managers talk about this style of play, because ultimately it isn't the way that I feel the game is intended to be played. It's ugly. They win ugly. And to be fair to them, like every good MMA fighter or good boxer, like sometimes you got to win rounds ugly to ultimately see it out. We can have the rest of that conversation if they do reach the pinnacle, because the other side of that coin is if you don't win it, like you've mentioned in the past, you don't win it, you have a 7-point gap, you've done this whole thing all year, you're playing ugly and you lose, the gun gets pointed right back at you. And all the things that we're saying about them in I guess a positive spin with the way that they're playing, you can rightfully say it in a negative way. I don't know. Grant, you're the Chelsea fan. From a rival's perspective, where are you at?
Yeah, I mean, I was having this conversation with Facundo and a fellow guest of the pod, Thomas, and I was thinking about hitting Facundo up, seeing if he wanted to come on today, but after this conversation, like, I didn't think it was right to allow him to have a platform for today.
Yeah.
Some of it was bad, man. And I think you got it right, where if you win, and especially like the last 9 games of the season, like, get the results. No one cares how you do it at this point of the season. And again, this isn't something we didn't expect. We've seen them trending towards this style of play the past few years. We've seen it in their recruitment, and again, they're maximizing it. And I'm okay with all of that, but just to not admit on a deeper level, it just isn't in the spirit of the game, certain things that they do. That's what kind of irks me more than anything. Like, it's okay to do it. Like, especially if you win, like, by all means, but to not admit that, at the least, it's like shameless the way they're playing. Because like you said with the Brighton game, you typically see the title leading team's manager complaining to the mid-table team's manager about, hey, hurry up, or what are you doing? So for the guy who's been on the hot seat for a little bit now at Brighton to just openly go, yeah, this is not how it should be done. This is not how the game is played. We're not talking about all the stats, the XG, the this, the just use your eyes, man. This is not in the spirit of the game. Do you whether or not you think you're following all of the rules on set pieces and all of these things, the people who created this beautiful game did not intend for it to be played this way. So I just need that, bro. Like I really don't care if you get it done, by all means, congratulations. But to not just admit that, like I just find that weird. And the last thing I'll really say on it is when we were talking about it with Facundo, he was telling me his words. Where was this energy when Villa, Newcastle, Brentford, West Ham, Everton were doing this to us? I think that makes my point. Like expectations, those clubs are not on the level that you claim your club is at. So that's the difference for me. So I think that's like an understanding, right? You claim to be one of the biggest clubs, the biggest club in the city and all of that. Why are you comparing yourself to West Ham? They play at a track and field stadium and might get relegated. So it just irks me on that level. It's petty. And again, if you win, you win. But that's where I just get the most frustrated.
Yeah, the thing that honestly irked me the most about this whole thing was Arteta's response to Hurstler. When you're when you are in the lead, you don't stoop down to like this happens every single year. I can actually on hand remember the amount of times that stuff like this happened with Pep. Pep every single time outside of Klopp, because that's a rivalry, took the high road. And that's the point. You have to do this with some dignity and some honor and some respect to where you're at. Everyone is aiming for you. Everyone knows you have to know and have the self-respect to know that you have the target on your back. The way that they act with every passing game does not show the humbleness to have or earn respect. That stuff is earned, and they act like they should just have it. And that's honestly what irks me about it is they don't wear this. I mentioned it a couple of pods ago. Like it feels like a facade. And that's why, even as a rival fan of City, I find myself not rooting for City, but not caring if Arsenal pull away with it. Because rivalry's sake, I should want City to fucking punish and drop as far as humanly possible and be in the scrap with the rest of our teams. But I find myself not caring if Arsenal run away with it or not, and honestly hoping that it's not a race because of the way that it's all being perceived by them. And that's super lame. And that's how I feel about Arsenal. They feel super lame.
Good way to put it.
I
mean,
mean,
it's just you're speaking from the heart though, because again, logically speaking, like yeah, of course, your City rivals, you can't have little bro winning again. Like that should be how you're coded, but your love for the game is just connecting to it. And you're like, oh, like what is this? Like that's what it is. So yeah,
look,
man, like,
if Arsenal
like,
do
again,
win the
when I
league, that's
see-
how I'm going to spin it.
right.
That's
of
how
course,
I'm
but,
going to
like,
spin it. But like, I don't,
yeah.
at this point, like I just genuinely couldn't care if City won it or Arsenal won it because it's literally it's not even the better of two evils. It just is. And that's his sentiment on what Arsenal are. Like that's what it is. Like my club hasn't been in the running for a long time. So I can't even put my team, and most of my anger goes to United because there shouldn't be a reason that this has happened. But when it's all down to where it's currently at, where I have to sit, like I had to sit last year with the Liverpool and City shit, is I sit here and I go, fuck, who cares? And that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, my last point I want to get off because this is also a conversation I had, but Gabriel being this tough guy enforcer and continually going down like a feather infuriates me. When me and Facundo had this conversation, he compared it to Cucurella. I'm like, Cucurella is 5'6". I don't think he's this tough guy.
No.
He antagonizes 100%. But again, when you're that tough guy and you're that gritty guy, I feel like that's part of the game. He's not trying to be some big, intimidating, tough guy. You can't be intimidating and simultaneously go down that much. And again, back to what I was saying earlier about just the purity of the game, like as a top level defender, which he is, he's a very good center back. wouldn't you want to defend and show that off and win tackles, shield off the ball, and like not go down in that situation and prove how good you are? Because if I were a quarter as good as that, you know what I mean? Like I'd want to prove it because that's just how I was when I'm competing. But I don't know. It's just again that in the nature of the game, it's like, why do I have to keep seeing that? And again, I know it's a part of the game. All teams are guilty of it, but when I'm seeing it at this level, and then when I see the performative antics on the side of it, it's like the two do not match. And that's another thing that just kind of irks me.
It's one thing when you're the best at something, and it's one thing when you're the best at knowing the technicalities of the game. It is very similar to the conversations that people have when it comes to a Luka or a Harden, right? When you know you're going to get a call because you do thing X, people will eventually not like that. It's grifting, and that's what he's doing. He's doing the football equivalent of grifting because every time he fucking falls over, he gets the call. Danny Welbeck did not touch Gabriel in the 91st minute. He fell over and he just got the call. And then I just see and hear the commentator slurping his fucking nuts about how he flopped. Man, that shit ticks me off. Like, don't reward this sour behavior. And like, look, my team's got one of those players in itself with Cunha. I'd prefer if the game was reffed in a way where they don't reward those actions. I think every fan would. But at this point, like, I can't even be mad at I want to be mad at Gabriel for it, but he just knows he's going to get the call. And while I want to be like, okay, like here's your respect portion, I can't even think about it in that way because it's not like he's just abiding by the rules that are being thrown out this year, which has been
Playing
we're
the
going to
game.
be super physical in the box for some reason.
I know.
And then
okay.
we're
You
not
gotta hate the-
we're,
gotta hate
and
the
then we're
game.
not in other portions of the field. You've talked about it with Holland. It's ridiculous.
That's
really
the
what it
thing.
is.
That's what pisses me off is that it's not, oh, this is the way the game is going, but Arsenal get to play a different game almost. Other teams are punished for things that they commit on a weekly basis, whereas they get away with it. You're playing two different games.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I think the NBA comparison was good.
Honestly, is
Luka.
I can't. There's a little bit of bias. I won't say there's not, but when I see Richard Masters, who's in charge of the Premier League, come and say, "Oh, we have a strategic plan to make sure that a new winner is placed at the top of the Premier League," and then I see with my eyes on a weekly basis that maybe we're not getting some of these 50-50 calls, but the scrutinization from the refs at the VAR is way more than anything Arsenal have to experience. So when it comes to a 50-50, they're getting a favorable percentage of it going their way, whereas we're not getting that. And that can be circumstance, but with things that are said from the head of our league that indicate otherwise to me, it's super frustrating. I don't know. I want to play the game on level playing field, and it's super annoying that this is a talking point at all that we're having on a fucking podcast. Basically open rigging of the league right in front of our eyes. We can't confirm it. We're never going to be able to confirm it, but they've done enough to at least put the idea in people's heads.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, it's not even making excuses. Like, I wish I could just be like, you know what? Arsenal have won and done this because they were the best team. But I don't find myself doing that at any point. I haven't, for like pretty much the majority of this year, barring a stretch between mid-October and mid-November, have I been like, Arsenal are the best team in the world. They deserve this Premier League title. I just don't feel that way.
When they play Tottenham.
To be fair, like I could go back to Liverpool last year. I didn't think the same thing, and we're being validated this season for that. But I feel very similar. And maybe this is just a quality of the Prem thing. Like the bottom teams have been better.
I was literally going to say that.
Teams have been worse.
That's exactly what I think.
This style of play has just been the most stable. And maybe that's if all this is said and done at the end of the year, we can say that Arsenal were the most stable team because their style of play didn't have as much variance from week to week. We knew every single preview video with Arsenal, we say we know exactly what we're getting. this was the first time we actually didn't see what we were expecting. So I don't know.
I think you got it right with that in terms of quality throughout the league. I think we've said it enough times, but in incredibly simple terms, the quality of the team in 18th place compared to even last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's night and day. And the result of that is the team in first place is nowhere near the level of the teams in first place last year, the year before. I think, again, even the Arsenal team from 2 years ago was much better performing domestically than this team, right? And I think a big cause of that is just how much quality there is top to bottom. There's so much money for all of these teams. So I do think that plays a big part into it. But yeah, at the end of the day, they do not seem nearly as impressive of any of the champions of the previous 5 times. I think you can keep going back, but yeah, there's a definite level difference. And Liverpool, you could definitely argue it too. And I know you boys will.
Yeah. We didn't touch a lot on City, but I think that it's way better to hear it just from Mila's perspective talking about it, because he does a really good job in his video. So if you haven't already seen it, go to Mila's video to check that out. It's much better than me talking about my rival team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing good that can come of that, probably. But we will talk about the Champions League race because, like I said, Chelsea get 3 points up on everybody because everybody else in that race dropped points. Let's do it in order by the table. So we'll start with United. We'll then go to Villa, Chelsea. We'll just do them together. And then we'll finish with Liverpool so we can really hammer it home. Do you guys want to start with your thoughts on United? And then I can say mine since I already have a video out.
I think they are, I like that. And I'll try to be quick with this. I think they're most likely out of the 4 kind of mids. You know what I mean? Like all 4 of these teams are very up and down to me in terms of you just don't know what you're going to get every week. But I think United have such an advantage to only have the Premier League to worry about. I think they're much fresher than these other teams. So for me, regardless of the problems I think they have, I mean, I've been saying it, but with the attackers you guys have brought in, that alone has raised the floor so much. And I think of these 4 teams, you're the most likely. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. There's definitely room for improvement, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, Mila.
Grant got it pretty on the nose. Yeah, you guys have the legs. A little setback against Newcastle, but should be good going forward. I'm not too stressed about United in this Champions League race.
Yeah, it was disappointing. Look, I was fucking pissed. Like, it's the second time we've lost to 10 men this season, and that's frustrating as a fan. St. James's Park is a tough place to go play, so that shouldn't be an excuse. I would have been okay with that excuse had we just lost with 11. But I think from an overarching standpoint, what this told me is this team is nowhere near ready for 2 times a week. And we've seen that throughout the course of the year. Like every time that even if you want to go into the Carrick portion, we had the 2 times a week with West Ham and we drew. This team is just, the depth is not there. And I went on like a 3-minute soliloquy about how Tyrone Malacia fucking played for my club.
That was great.
In a match where we were up by a man. So I think that's really where I'm at, and getting a couple of days here to sit on the result is, I know that there's 2 things to this. One, being off for that much time is bad because that's when United have looked the worst, is at the beginning portion of matches, right? The Crystal Palace game, some of the other results, like during the beginning portions, they're bad. The middle portions of the game, they've been, I would say, good to very good, which has helped them get results. And then as the game progresses towards the back end of the 90s, where they don't have depth, that's where they lose out on matches or potentially drop points. Or C.O.C has been the guy to lift the rest of the team, right? And that's why he's been so important, because he's an actual good sub. But what it tells me, you, and everybody is it just confirms everything we've been saying, is this project was always a 3-4 window project, especially not getting UCL this season. So it just hammers home the point of they need reinforcements in so many different parts of the field. And if you get UCL, there is zero excuse. And if they don't spend the money, we all know how serious this project is or isn't or can be.
Mm-hmm.
What
I
color
think
scarves are Ineos out?
I'm assuming the same. I don't
No,
know.
I think we need to have a distinction. There needs to be a new 2-color pattern. I propose
No.
purple and
No,
orange.
because the
reason
Blazers
for
are
there's
the
a
Glazers-
reason the colors are
I
there.
know. But
in terms
Go ahead.
in terms of your guys' just transfer rumors and scouting that has been popping up, the depth seems to be a piece because every time it pops up, it looks like you're looking at 2 guys, not 1 guy, but a package
yeah.
deal where you can bring more depth in the team for a favorable price. Instead of getting 1 guy for 90 million, you get 2 guys for 90 million.
Mhm.
And they've all seemed to be Premier League associated players. They know the league. So I think in terms of that issue going into next season, it seems like the board is addressing it, or at least looking into it early so that it won't be an issue in the transfer window so long as you guys get that Champions League.
Yeah, we spent how much was it this summer without Champions League football? It was like
200,
250.
250, something like that.
So then, if you add in the full price of Højlund and Rashford and some of the other guys that are going to go, the United should be spending it should be close to a Liverpool size window. It should be somewhere in the ballpark of 300 to 350. We spent 200 this one.
I
say
know,
the
right?
You need
Champions
any?
League
You need any
football,
center
it would-
halves?
They I think are in the market, but we'll
We've got
save
some for
that
sale.
that United topic for the upcoming international window because Andy Mitten did report that United are potentially shopping in Spain. And I don't know what that means, but I have one player in mind that I'd love, and I'm just going to leave him for that later down the road.
Oh, you're not
video.
even going to tell us.
No. We'll wait.
Oh,
We'll leave our
perfect.
viewers hanging. You guys will find out literally after the pod, but our viewers are going to have
I'll
to
probably
stick
forget by
around for
now.
that.
By then,
That's also fair. But that's enough on United. A blip, hopefully, in that next Villa game, which we'll preview in the next
I
episode.
think you made a great point. You have like 15 good players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's a big drop off. So
Malacia played. that's all you need to know.
speaks.
Let's start with Villa, and then we can do Chelsea because they got the fucking wheels beat off them in a game that was end to end, and then they had an offside goal, and then it was just Chelsea's steamroll from that point on. They rough, man. This is the validation that I have needed for months. The XG gods finally came back around. And it has nothing to do with XG. It's more just simple chance creation. If you are relying on worldies, like you will eventually get punished.
They're a streaky team, and it's the best way to put it. When they win a lot. And when they lose or don't win, I guess, it adds up. It's not up and down necessarily. It's like moments of brilliance, periods of brilliance, and 2 periods of shit. And until they hit that little plateau in the middle, then they're going to have issues. Because I feel like this has been the thing for 2-3 years now. They jump up the table, and we're like, holy fuck. And then they drop a little bit, and then it levels out at the end, towards the very end of the season. And they're in around that European spot, not quite challenging for titles, maybe pushing in the Champions League, maybe not, but they're in and about there. And until they get that consistency, this is what it is. It's going to be streaks. You can almost say it's momentum too, just confidence. They feed on the confidence that they build. The second that confidence goes, it goes the opposite direction, and they're lost in their own doubt almost.
Every team deals with them, but they have had some brutal injuries, especially in the midfield, right? Kamara's hurt, Tielemans has been hurt, and one of Dylan's favorite players, John McGinn, their captain, has also been hurt, and we know how much that John McGinn does for that team.
He does matter.
I also think the persistence with Ollie Watkins. I mean, he had multiple chances, and in my opinion, he really fluffed. So to continue to persist with him while guys like Gesson and Malin are doing really well on loan, that also is a big question mark for me. I think this was very avoidable. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think out of these 4 teams, they're probably the most likely for me to miss out, just because it's giving similar vibes to what happened with Nottingham Forest last year. They were higher than we expected, much higher than we expected, and they looked like a lock for Champions League spots and just burnt out. and it happened quick. And like you said with the whole XG thing, the XG on this game was like 4.4 to 0.9. So pretty much exactly how the game went. And we were wasteful. So yeah, I mean, that really, after their offside goal, it was a massacre. I was so shocked. My video is just kind of like me in this state of shock. Like, I did not think we would look that good, but again, that's just kind of what we are too. Two inconsistent teams met, and we get the worst of one and the best of the other. But yeah, their defending was shocking on the day. And again, they're missing center backs, so there's guys running on fumes in the back line. Like, it happens, but yeah, they were shocking for a lot of that game. Even 5 minutes into the game, you were creating chances. Like, they were wide open for 90 minutes. It was crazy.
Injury issues have, again, been a thing.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Not even everywhere, just for this Villa
There
team.
too. Yeah,
the past
sure.
2 to 3 years. We can name either the same players or players in those positions that are picking up injuries. This is Villa. This is just them. But this upcoming Premier League game is a big turning point in terms of where they're going to finish. They play United.
Nope.
They're level on
we
points
just
with
pants
United.
them at home.
So this is
that's
a big
great.
big
Almost
team.
dropping points.
Yeah, if they win that, then we're talking a little bit differently. If they lose that, they probably are out.
Yeah.
But again, it's the streakiness. If they can switch it back to that positive streak, positive momentum, then I could see them staying in. But it really comes down to this United game for me with 9 games to go.
They have just a brutal rough run of this. I mean, they lost to Wolves, and then they lost to Chelsea. Then they play Lille in the first leg away on Thursday, and then they play away at Old Trafford the following that Sunday. So it's tough running, man. This is I shouldn't have said all the shit I said about Unai Emery before all this happened, because I gave him his flowers, but this is what happens every single year, and I brainwashed myself into thinking it's something different, because every time that the going gets tough, he doesn't change. I have no idea why they played as open, and they went away from everything that has worked. That in that Chelsea game that I watched, and maybe it's because I just haven't been watching Villa, and maybe this is what they've been trying to do. But fuck, they went away from everything that worked for them earlier in the season, which was low block, hit him on the counter with Morgan Rogers as your spark. And how open, stretched out Villa played against Chelsea, which they totally exploited. It was alarming. And to be fair, like the Wolves game, I bet you it wasn't super different.
Yeah, I mean, their goal difference is 5, right? Like, at the end of the day, they've scored 39 goals in 29 games. Like, for a team sitting in 4th now, like that's not a particularly high amount of goals. Like, I mean, yeah, Newcastle, maybe that's not a great comparison. Yeah, Fulham in 10th have more goals than them, right? Like 39 goals. It's a 5-goal difference. I think it speaks for itself. And I don't think we've been the best team in the league by any stretch. We have a plus 19 goal difference. So, like, again, they're just kind of running out of steam, but they can absolutely save themselves if they get a good result against United.
Yeah,
I'd love a draw.
That's probably the biggest game for both teams for the rest of the year.
A lot of these teams play each other.
Which team can bounce back, right? Like United do have to play, I think, everybody else within the run in here.
We play at the Bridge.
Same thing comes for Chelsea. Same thing said for Liverpool. Like, we all have to play each other. It's a massacre. But in terms of like the importance of this match, if United can get the bounce back after that and can prove it was just a blip, that's a bigger deal, because then they can go on to do something. It confirms for the exact opposite reason. If Villa gets smacked up again or lose again, like, it almost confirms what we have just been saying about how bad they have been. It's just a confirmation game.
Yeah, I think if they stack a loss or a drop of point, I think they have to win. It's not don't lose, but you have to win. If they don't do it against you guys, they go on to play like 4, maybe 5 of the relegation teams, or relegation battle teams, and then City's one of them, Liverpool's one of them. It's really grim, and they could drop points really quickly in this if they don't find a little bit of momentum or confidence going forward. That's why I agree with you. I think this game is freaking huge. for both
And
you guys.
Start
But
Tammy.
mainly Villa.
I was gonna say, for how we know Unai Emery likes to play, how quickly after a loss at Old Trafford does he just go, "We're winning Europa"?
That would be
Probably
fine,
their best bet.
honestly. If you can get Champions League again,
So I'm saying,
If
that's what I'm
they
saying.
get slapped by United, that might end up happening.
That's what I would. That's his mo. That's his mo.
Especially because they're probably favorites, if I'm not mistaken. And
They
really
gotta
any
be one of
English
them.
team, especially in the lower European competitions, are favored. So
They
yeah,
gotta be
that's
one.
probably the easiest way to get into the Champions League, especially big on that United game. Depends on that,
Especially Mila, you didn't mention that Liverpool City is how they end the year. Those are the two last games.
yes. But I mean,
Holy
like
crap.
the Liverpool game might be the easiest one out of all of them. The other ones have nothing to live for, or they're fighting for their life. Like
Yeah.
it's Burnley,
Holy
it's
crap.
Nottingham, it's West Ham, it's Spurs.
I'd rather play like Fulham than West Ham. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly. If they were playing mid-table teams, I
Huh.
think maybe they'd have a
different.
better chance.
So
But
relegation teams they have the same
if
quality.
relegation
These teams
teams,
have quality.
Mhm.
Liverpool and a title contender on the last day of the season, where you're probably going to be in a situation again where it could be very close. So they're not going to get any easy games. Is the best way
No.
to put it. And
Yep.
we've been talking that really no game in the Premier League is that easy, but
Teams playing for their lives.
yeah.
Yep. I guess we can switch this to a Chelsea perspective. Grant's video is also very good for the same reasons as my United videos have been good. It was giddy, which it needed to be, because that was a great bounce back performance for Chelsea in a 4-1 win, where they even after the first goal looked dominant, which has been the opposite. I feel like you guys maybe have taken leads in games and then the other team kind of puts it on you. You guys playing from behind, getting that result at Aston Villa is huge. And it just flipped the script on what we were looking at from last week to this week, or Sunday to Wednesday as a whole. I thought Chelsea looked great. João Pedro was phenomenal on the day. I also want to say that Konsa and Mings were fucking awful.
Terrible. The more I watch those highlights, the worse it
Oh
looks.
my god!
It's just
I don't even know who they're marking. Like, genuine good striker play to get yourself in those positions, but also like
too easy.
Konsa was in no
easy.
man's land. I mean, ugly.
Playing everyone on side, like it was incredibly sloppy defensive performance from them. But at the same time, I do think we've seen these players in positions before. I mean, I was talking about it in the Arsenal game where like we actually would break the press and then proceed to just do fuck all as soon as we had space. When we had space today, we were decisive. And I think, again, we missed a lot of opportunities, but even especially that last goal, right? Like one ball over the top from Palmer to Garnacho, great first touch, and then put it across. It's an easy goal, but we weren't executing. So I think Palmer's looking a lot better, and physically, he's still not the same in front of goal, right? He's not as clinical and just confident, but he looks a lot better physically. So I think that's a positive development. And again, João Pedro looking incredibly decisive. Really good, just number 9 goals. Like he is a number 9, like prayed for times like this. So that's definitely something to be optimistic with going forward. I still think we did show some signs of fragility defensively. I think dropping Robert Sanchez is a huge call, but we saw the consequence in the Arsenal game. So I think Rosinha really does need that ball-playing goalkeeper, which Robert Sanchez is not. Jorgensen definitely scares me as a goalkeeper, but he is very good on the ball. It's a huge call to make, especially in a big game like this. But even in the first goal, you have I won't give him too much grief on this one, where the ball comes pretty much right at Chalobah and the clearance just goes directly to a Villa player. I would have liked better, but whatever. Then proceeds to just run to the byline and get taken out of the game with the obvious cutback that was going to be played. That's frustrating. It's a nice back heel finish, but there's still those just moments of what are you doing in our back line that scare me. But again, he had a lot of great last-ditch challenges. I think Ollie Watkins was very generous to give him the chance, but Chalobah did well in a lot of situations like that. But again, we still show those signs of fragility. And if you put that chance on a plate for, say, Ousmane Dembele, it could be a different story. So that's still our fragility. And again, you see it when we played and drop points to Burnley and Leeds, we can play with the worst of them, and then we can play with the best of them. And I think that's been something developing here for a little while now. But yeah, you do not know which Chelsea you're going to get. I'd like to think the longer the coach is in, that he can implement more ideas. We can get our fucking heads screwed on straight and maybe start to see signs of consistency. But great result. Wrexham tomorrow, and then PSG. Like, we're going to find out. Parc des Princes. We're going to see. So I'd love to be optimistic, but I still do have my reservations. I'm definitely not getting my hopes up. But I do think we should be able to beat PSG.
Was Fofana's? I stopped watching after the third goal and put on the kept on the City game. Did Fofana get hurt and he came off, or was that just because
allegedly? But then he tweeted and said he was fine. He has been wrong about his own injury diagnosis multiple times on social media. So
interesting.
Don't know.
Okay.
I think he's fine. But yeah, when I was saying not going to get too optimistic, I'm saying that in a sense of running away with securing a Champions League spot. I still think we're going to have very important games down the line. In terms of PSG in the short term, they don't look good either. I think we should take care of PSG. I'm going to say that comfortably. I am pretty confident this team's going to beat PSG. That's not to say we're going to slap the shit out of them for 2 legs, but I definitely think that we get this result. I think we should be able to get this result. But consistency in the Premier League, that's more optimistic. It's more, I hope, versus confidence in that fixture.
I see that. We'll talk about it more on next week's pod, but PSG and Villa are very similar in the way that they've played this year, where it's very open, like that game, in particular, like it's very open. They rely on their stars to do a lot of their dirty work, but you can beat them. They have ways that you can beat them by their defense. I'll be curious to see. I mean, fuck, their keeper is awful. Oh, he's so bad.
No, the Russian guy?
Yeah, he's awful. Yeah.
And Chevalier. Mila dodged a bullet, mate.
Oh my gosh, man.
They're both. You got Donnarumma.
I mean, I'd take Donna over him.
That's what I'm saying. You dodged a bullet.
The worst decision ever. I don't know where, like,
dynasty,
especially how good he was in the UCL, for them to just be like, fuck.
Big reason they won it. I don't know if you remember, Villa beat them at Villa Park, and Donnarumma made some ludicrous saves to keep them in that tie. They would have not won the Champions League without him.
Like you said, like, it could be dynasty altering, because when you look at like the team that they let him go to, it's a team that will probably be in that race with, you know what I mean? Like, fucking moronic.
Yeah, move on from them. We'll talk about that later.
Let's talk about Chelsea, more moronic teams.
Yeah. Stop.
You want to talk? Chelsea? No, Chelsea was. No. There's just nothing more to say. You guys beat the brakes off them.
Yeah. But I'm still not fully convinced that we run away with that. I think which is competitive for us. Yeah.
You guys have a lot of fixtures still, and PSG being the next one is still difficult.
Tough running as well.
You know who didn't have like that tough a fixture, but like still lost?
Holy crap.
Liverpool suck. I will continue to say that because it's awesome. It's the one gleaming beam of light that has been this season for me, regardless of how up and down my team has been. The team that spent fucking 500 million USD, I'm changing the currency to make it work, are in 6th place. I mean, fucking Christ. They won the Premier League last year. They spent 500 million USD, green dollar bills, Fenway-owned money, sent Red Sox players to other teams to afford this ludicrous transfer window. And they sit in 6th place after losing to Wolverhampton Wanderers on a last-minute goal.
Fugazi Trophy, perhaps, last year.
Yeah.
And then we will also use that for this year as well. It started that year, and the era is continuing for the record. But yeah, I mean, that's shocking at the end of the day when you think about it in context. They literally won the league and said, all right, this manager just won the league in his first year. I think he's shown enough to invest in the vision that he has. And yes, we knew their squad was not balanced, but similar to what we were just saying with United, just that star power in attack alone should be able to give you a really, really, really high floor and a even higher ceiling but I think Salah's drop off plays a gigantic part in this. I mean, they were so reliant on him and they didn't need him in the run in because there was no run in. So
I don't want to hear about that, bro. They
I just
spent
think
half
that's a
a
huge
billion.
I 100% agree.
They could have
And-
factored that into the $500 million.
And I think letting Trent leave for free. I mean, he was a huge part of how they play. They literally haven't had a right back most of the year. Frimpong's got a right back and a 4, and Bradley's been hurt all year almost. Yeah, they've like what 2 center backs, and then Joe Gomez. Like,
They should bring back concept.
it's a disaster. It's a disaster. I mean, I remember my words because I know you guys are such avid haters. You would have never predicted them to win the league, but I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of, I can't see it go any other way because the league champions invested $500 million. So
You had too much
thought
faith
that alone.
in Arnold.
the floor is yours then. Tell me why I had too much faith, Mila. Go for it.
Bro, I'm it's
No,
not that
I'm
you
not
had too
arguing
much-
it. I'm giving you the floor.
I
I'm
just
not arguing.
I don't know. I think Dylan and I were pretty big advocates last year that he wasn't that good.
That's true.
And I'm sure I had a lot more points last year, but I haven't thought about Liverpool in
You
so
guys
fucking long.
continuously said it to me. Every time I would give respect. You were just like, they're not that
Nope.
good. So fair play.
Yeah. It's come into it like full circle. We might have jumped the gun a little bit, but we were right.
Definitely.
I called them Lucky Pool. There's a reason, dude. There's a reason for everything we do. And Lucky Pool, Liverpool, liver shit, whatever.
Ekitike's sick. I like Ekitike.
No, that's the thing. I still have respect for a lot of their players. They have very
lot of
good
regression
players
there.
when it
A lot
comes
of
down to
regression
it.
for the
But I
players out
have no respect for Arnie Slot. Like,
Oh,
I do not think
Miss
he's.
Mo-
a
I think you
fucking
and
good
Liverpool
coach.
fans share the same sentiment, though. I do feel like that's a
Yeah, maybe
Ooh,
now, but like their
Last year,
results-based.
yes.
As long as
Everyone
they're
loved them.
getting points, they don't give a shit.
no. And who would?
Which is no, you need to like you can't always just be solely results based because
Oh yeah, we just talked about it. You're right.
yeah, we literally just did. Like if they want to re-up, like for example, if they re-up
did look
Arteta, he wins this Premier League, they re-up Arteta, and they continue to play like this with a real target on your back, a champion's target on your back. Come on, it's not happening again. They're not gonna. I'll say it right now, and if I'm wrong, then I'll shake all my Arsenal friends' hands. But if they win the title this year, they are not going to defend the title next year.
I like that. I'll go
Because
with that.
at the end, it's complacency.
We're already
If
getting
you want to
into
say
next year.
anything, like
hating.
complacency, settling for what you have, thinking it's good enough. Top teams don't do that. So back Arnie Slot all you want, back Arteta all you want.
Fucking that video we did, Grant. You and me, we did a video. Mila was gone. We did a video after they had signed Isak, and we both said that they were the runaway favorites.
Yeah, they were.
They
They
should have been
absolutely
the runaway favorites. And I said it during the video, and I don't know why I haven't been on every single pod since then, just fucking ripping them a new one, because I said that I would. Because they fucking deserve it. Scouse bastards. No, but seriously, they're just not very good. And for a team that spent that much money, if we want to boil it down to its basic nuts and bolts, there's no reason they should be that bad. Their transfer window was in the argument. I think we all put it either in as an A or a B. They spent enough money for an entire league. in one
GDP of a
transfer
small
window.
country.
And that was the whole thing was, oh, he didn't get a backing. So when he gets this backing, we're going to put it. And then honestly, the whole thing about Slot is correct. Mila's right. Because everything since that window has been excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse for the same things that everyone else has had to deal with. I didn't hear, and
Press
this is
conferences are cinema. They're hilarious.
like, I mean, even Amram wasn't like complaining about guys missing. Like everyone has guys missing. Like that's the whole.
Yeah.
Everyone has guys missing. Like to say that you haven't been able to spend 200 of your available 500 million players. Like, that's ridiculous.
To
World's
you just-
me,
smallest island.
to your
World's
point,
smallest island.
I don't think he's earned the right to make those excuses. Where I look at a Jurgen Klopp who practically lost his mind trying to fight for titles in this fucking league. Towards the end of his tenure, started making ridiculous excuses. I get that. This guy is making excuses after getting backed like no other team in the Premier League this year. After winning a title and showing no fucking fight to defend that title. And I think I said it last year when they were running away with it. It's hard to defend a title in this league. And I will kudos to my club for doing that on multiple occasions, and kudos to United for doing that on multiple occasions, because it's fucking difficult. You have a target on your back. Teams adapt to the way that you played. Like, it's not easy. And every game is a big game for a team against the champions. So for Liverpool to try to just stroll through some of these games, even against the bottom feeder teams, it's not going to fucking happen. Because if relegation side Wolves can say, hey, we beat the champions, that's a good fucking thing to put on their resume, regardless of going up or down. Yeah.
He's such a loser. That's my last point on that. He's such a loser.
Yeah.
Calling out teams for the way they're playing, like as if his style of football is fucking good. You fucking wankstain.
That's regressed. Yeah, a lot of players.
Ah,
regressed.
wankstain. Just because you play fucking 15 players forward, loser. Speaking of losers, Tottenham Hotspur are, oh boy, they're in trouble. I will give a shout out to, I think we're just going to talk about Spurs here, right? Because
it's the big one.
Yeah.
West Ham gets 3 points. They make the gap with Forest to 0. Forest pick up a crucial point against City to obviously stay in that race, but also make the gap between them and Spurs 1.
I hope Nottingham go down.
Oh man.
I hope 6 teams go down this year. I hope they double it.
I want Wolves to turn it up. They've got a fun little fixture run. I
do.
think a Wolves great escape would make things very interesting. And genuinely, I think at this current moment in time, Burnley are the only team locked in. I think Wolves have a better chance of coming out of this than Burnley. I'd love the storyline. Maybe I'm just a bit of a romantic, but that'd be great. And I think on current form, Tottenham are the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing any signs. I thought the manager was just going to crash out. I thought he was getting sacked. I can't believe he's still in that job. But for him to say he saw something, I saw the exact same thing. I texted you guys in the 7th minute of the game.
I think
Tottenham
you're
were not
reading
winning.
into that too much. I don't think he meant it
Of
in a
course.
good way. I think he meant he's
Okay, good. Because I texted you guys 7 minutes into the game.
A positive
I
comment.
texted you guys 7 minutes into the game saying they are not winning this game. They looked bad. You had Archie Gray at wing back to have Porro at right center back. I mean, criminal. And then another captain getting sent off, right? And such a stupid foul.
Guy's
like-
not that good.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong about third best in the world, because I think in situations like this that you start to see their true colors, and it's really shameful. I mean, you saw in the first game this manager came in, Van de Ven ignoring the coach. Like, both of these guys showing these colors is just, it's dark. The rest of these guys are playing for their lives, and these guys are not. So that's what's genuinely making me think, as it stands, they're the most likely to go down.
Their
Not the most likely
fans,
compared to Wolves, but
their fans left at half.
Would you not leave? I'd
No,
fucking leave.
no. That's I would too. But the issue is like when you're looking at those relegation battle teams and the way that it normally goes, like Forest fans wouldn't have left.
get behind your team.
West Ham fans,
They need
they
you.
left early, but now that they've gotten on a run of games, they've started to stay. Because once they got Nuno, they started to stay. They stayed for games. That's why they've been in games. When your fans start to leave, you lose your pulse at home.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure turns up away. Like, I know that their away record is better, but that just shows how abysmal they've been at home.
2 wins.
That's
think
my
it's-
concern, man.
Yeah,
wins.
I don't think it's anything against the fans, because at this point they've been so terrible at home that it's almost disrespectful to the fans. Why
I
should they
agree.
have to pay
Most
money to go
expensive
watch
ticket in
this?
Europe.
Exactly. So, and in the sense of a fan leaving the stadium, like, yes, you're right, the other teams wouldn't do it, but
I don't
if you're
blame
paying that money, then the only way to send that fucking message that you need to be better to the top down of the club is getting out of those seats and not giving them any attention. So I think they were talking
Well-
this is the issue with them, is because they were talking about fucking protesting, and then I believe this was a couple weeks ago, and they actually played well, and everyone ended up staying. So yeah, you can do the whole protest thing. You can leave the stadium. I have no problem with that, but have some fucking backbone. And I think
Yeah.
that is a problem throughout the entire club. They have no backbone.
Players as well.
Managers have been coming in and saying this, or at least some rendition of it. So
This guy.
if they go down, I don't fucking care. They took 5 points off us this year. And
I'll
then
miss
that,
the point. I'll miss the 3 points. What a spectacle that stadium in the championship would be. But I think you hit the nail on the head with that in terms of the fans and what they can do to show their dissatisfaction. I mean, Marseille left the entire stand empty, right? Like that's a protest, right? And those fans don't play. So that's what it should look like, to your point of having some backbone, standing on business, all that. But yeah, I think the players are in a similar situation. A guy like Xavi Simons, who quite frankly, that was a backup option. I mean, a lot of the guys there, it was their backup option, and they're not worried about this team going down. At least it doesn't look like it. A lot of them
they
will be
should
able
be,
to just get their.
honestly.
I agree.
They're not getting
I
it
agree.
moved.
But this
Most
is
of
what
these
it
guys
looks
are
like.
fucking shit.
They're entitled. They're playing entitled, like they don't care. So I think that plays a huge part versus a guy like Morgan Gibbs White, mind you, who was going to go play for Tottenham. He looks like he's taking it personal, and he's the captain of the team, and he will not let them get relegated, right? And a guy like Jared Bowen, same thing. He does not want to see his team go down. Like he could have gotten a move years ago. He's been there. He's grinding it out, and he's going to be a legend for them, right? So those guys know what this means, and I don't think the players at Tottenham do. But to your point, Mila, the problem goes far beyond the players. The players are really a result of what happens from the top, but now you're finally seeing the result, and it's crazy. You'd always hear like, "What would we'd be relegated without Kane?" Fairs.
They're making Daniel Levy look good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
Do you know how
impressive.
fucking difficult
That's
that
impressive.
is? I despise that man. And they're making him
all-
look like a fucking genius.
Yep. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Impressive. Truly
To be-
impressive.
And I've
To
heard
be-
it from a lot of
I
Spurs
really
fans.
do hope they go down and they make no money off their fucking players.
That's what I've heard, the sentiment from a lot of Spurs fans. Like, this is what these people deserve for what they have done to this club. But at the same time, as a fan, of course, you don't want to see your team go down, but it's a deserved result.
They're
Some
not
of these
coming back
fans
up.
think they're gonna. I don't think they'll come.
They're
back
not
up. I
coming
think
back up.
There's an
If they
idea
go-
We
that
take their
they're
stadium.
they're gonna make money off
Shit.
concerts, and they're gonna play in that massive stadium.
NFL teams moving to London. That's what's going to happen.
Or they'll sell the rights to the stadium, and it'll be called something else. But yeah, I've seen Spurs fans trying to almost bargain in terms of it just grief. Oh, we'll make money to be able to rebuild. Like, no,
No.
What about your
No.
sponsors?
your guys' players are playing awful from all of them. Like we've talked about this. I feel validated by a lot of them, and I also hate them for taking points off my team in a title race. So Van de Ven, I've called him out, not that great. Kudus, not that great.
Oh, he's been
Xavi
hurt for
Simons, a name,
Mhm.
and of course these guys are going to pop up against City. But outside of that game, I have plenty of evidence to say that the majority of their team is not good enough. And any Tottenham fan that thinks they're going to get a substantial amount of money for all their players, I wouldn't be expecting that. I think you can maybe get a good money for 3 to 4 of your players. And then the rest, you have no leverage.
That's what I was
Not
gonna
even
say.
leverage. Like the leverage before was, oh, maybe we can get people to come if we get Champions League. When you get relegated, you have negative fucking leverage against these players. So you're either stuck paying them ridiculous wages that honestly, I don't even think they will be able to register for the championship. So they're going to have to sell players. Or you're going to have to sell. Either way, they're going to have to sell them for cheap, I think.
They've got relegation clauses in the wages, and I don't know
I
the details.
doubt Tottenham players have.
No, they do.
relegation.
They do.
Reports came out.
Yeah.
Ornstein
That's
Yeah, the
fucking
reports.
crazy.
It's like
But the thing
50%.
is,
You
I
cannot be
would
a top
also
team with relegation clauses.
I don't know the
50%.
ins and outs. I would honestly think I don't know the context again, but maybe all teams do that. I'm not sure about that practice, but I would imagine there's probably certain clauses in the contracts, including release clause for said relegation, right? Like the price might be lower on some of these guys. And I agree with the sentiment, Mila. Like a lot of these guys think they can kind of sneak away with this being on their CV, their resume, right? Like, oh yeah, I didn't do too much. Like that's a huge stain in the modern era. I mean, Tottenham haven't
Yeah.
been relegated from the top flight for 50 years, right? They're one of the few teams that never be relegated from the Premier League. They've been a staple. It would be shocking, unforgivable from top to bottom. And I think, yes, injuries have been unreal to Tottenham, but to be 1 point off relegation, I still think there's zero excuse to be that close to this. And quite frankly, I don't know about you guys. I think they are getting relegated as it stands right now.
Yeah. To close this out, which one thing, Levy is not off the hook for me. He left the ship when it was partially sinking, and then we're gonna get
him, mate.
No, dude. He's just this is his creation. This is like this is literally the Klopp and Slot thing. This is still his creation. He still created most of this fucking monster. If they go down, he has just as his penmanship is just as much on that fucking horseshit as the rest of them. But
I think I disagree. I might need to do more research, but I think I disagree.
Last year they were in that race too, and they got bailed out by Champions League. He stayed around for most of the summer and then left right before the window ended. Why was he there?
It ended. I think they kicked him out.
He left right after the window ended. So then this is his baby. This is still his baby. Outside of
not
everything
necessarily. Sometimes they'll have the new guy come in with him.
It's happening with
before
Edu
you
right
leave.
now.
Like we just did it with Hugo Viana, and yeah.
I'm telling you, knowing what his stake of that team has been for as long as it's been, there's no way his fingerprints aren't all over.
He's at fault to an extent, no doubt. Like he has led them in this commercial direction. Like I can 100% give you that. But I think to Mila's point, I also saw quotes from him. It's like, oh, in time they'll realize what I've done for them. He might have cooked because it immediately happened. What? Holding this shit together to whatever
because
extent.
Ange Postecoglou got them a Europa League.
No, but I think
no. I'm not letting us paint this human in a good light because he hasn't done anything good for them, and I don't think he deserves any credit for that. Like that's not like there was the Kane and Pochettino era with Son. They got carried into that, and then it's been crap ever since. He bargained with half the league, moved Kane to literally forced Kane
Walker,
to move.
They had Rose, like they had a much better squad at the time. Towards the end of his tenure, sure, you could say it's him, but also if
he got them there.
Out, then
this is like Woodgate stuff. Like it's the same
he
thing.
Got them to that. I don't know. That would be better argued by someone that knows the club.
I just don't like it. And
that's fair. I don't like him either. But he wasn't there when they got relegated, and he's not going to be there to help them get back up. That's the main.
If he was there until the transfer window closed, does that not make that part of his resume too? It should.
But that doesn't.
But again,
I get
do you
that,
think he was acting right up until the end? Like I think what Mila said, it's happening to Edu at Nottingham Forest right now. He is still employed by the club, but they're trying to get rid of him. So I think with the Levy situation, I'm sure they knew
it's way different.
Agreed.
The timing of that is way different. For what it seems like it seems like both parties at the end of that window went, we need to be parted ways because they missed on all their targets. They missed on all their targets. Eze, Gibbs White.
That was a weird situation. I mean, I think kudos to Xavi Simons were decent. I mean, I think that wasn't too bad. But
no, they got. I think right.
You know what I think's fair? I think. Yeah, I think to kind of wrap up like the whole relegation thing, another big reason I'm so convinced they get relegated is because of the uplift and uptick in form from these other two teams in particular with West Ham and Nottingham Forest. Again, Nottingham Forest have a lot of the same players that got them into a European spot last year. So we know that there's quality there. And with West Ham, shout out Axel Disasi. I hope they stay up and buy him. Right? Like he's been phenomenal for them. Their defense, they can keep a clean sheet. Jared Bowen and Somerville has been fantastic. Castellanos has gotten a few goals. I mean, they look much more like a competent team again. So those two teams performing to the levels they are, and even Wolves, maybe I can hope a little bit, but we didn't even mention Leeds. I think they've done enough. Who knows? But I
Leeds
think
are fun.
they're safe.
Yeah.
I think they're only like 2 points above Tottenham.
They are, but I think
they're fine.
think
I
they'll be
agree.
fine.
I do think they'll be fine. But all these other teams are looking so much more competent that I really Tottenham again. They're the worst team in the league on form, and no signs that that'll change.
All right, to close this out because we don't have predickies, I'm gonna run through the rest of their Premier League fixtures, just like we did last time we talked about them with Frank. Basic yes or no, do they pick up a win? And that's how a win.
A win. Okay.
A win.
Okay.
Points, whatever. They're still dropping them, right? So
Win.
do they pick up a win? Away at Anfield.
No. That'd be
Home
funny, though.
against Forest.
Wait, home against who?
Forest.
No.
No,
Forest are going to want that.
Away at the Stadium of Light.
no.
Home against Brighton.
Mm-mm.
That's
Away-
possible.
It's
Not a
possible,
win.
but
We'll
like
draw
yes
that
or
one.
no.
Brighton
We'll
don't have
draw
anything to
that.
play for.
No.
Brighton don't have anything to play for, but they
No.
have good players. You're right.
Wolves away.
Oh, the Molyneux in 2026, brother? Absolutely not. Fortress.
Villa away. Leeds at home. Away at Stamford Bridge. Home against Everton. Or sorry, no, yeah, home against
Mhm.
Everton is how they ended the year.
They got a shot. That and the Brighton game are their best shots.
You gave them 2 maybes and all no's. It's over, man. It's over. Like unless
agree.
Kudus comes back and just is the best player on planet Earth, it's over.
Who?
Agendas.
Yeah, exactly.
Kudus.
Exactly.
Who?
I think
He's been out for months, man.
I think he's
You
supposed to
cannot
come
throw him into this
after
group.
the international.
Matter of fact, that's who I want to poach. Give me Kudus, bro. I want to prove a point.
No, dude's been
Dude,
complaining
if you
about
take
Garnacho
kudos
and
to your
said-
team, then you've learned nothing. You've
Yeah.
learned
Agendas,
absolutely
man.
nothing.
Yeah.
You literally are talking about a player that is literally the same mold of Garnacho and Neto, and you've said some criminal things against
disagree
both
with
of
No,
them.
Kudus
they are
offers a
not
little
the
more
same
hitting of the
category.
post, and that's about it.
Absolutely not.
Literally, the stuff that was talked about Neto when he came from Wolves is the exact same shit that they talked about
Kudus
with.
can play football.
That's
don't
dude.
think
That's
they're
literally what they said about Neto. I swear to God, go back and look. Neto was like, they were like, it's nailed on. This is a good signing. We like him.
Yes,
He does all these
that is
things.
true.
Can't stay healthy.
Everyone
but
thought it was a good signing.
and
Oh,
then
no,
it
he stayed
turned
healthy.
into he
Neto
stayed healthy, but he's trash. Kudus could be
No,
the same
but I
thing.
think that he can be trash. Sure, I will agree with that. What I'm very angry at is they're not the same type of player. Kudus is not a road runner, no IQ run with his head. I don't think he's that, but sure, he can absolutely flop by all means. But
I
I,
just
don't
think-
think I'm not throwing
like
him into the lump of
flop.
players that have been fit this whole year.
Like
He's been hurt like since November.
I can't say that he's been good
What?
or bad. That he hasn't played. That was just
It's
which makes him a
it's
flop.
stupid argument. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
no,
yes.
it's not.
It's irrelevant to where they
whatever.
are right now.
It's so funny. Spurs have made us argue about some really stupid things when we all think they're getting relegated.
Vicario as well. Good. What happened
Yeah.
to him? I mean, just shocking. They have no leadership. We always
He'll
talk
show
about
up against
leadership on this podcast. We talk about leadership all the time. They have no leadership. Their
Yeah, but
leaders,
leaders
just
are
both got sent
dumbasses.
off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's way worse than us. At least we have a quiet guy who can keep his act together. Like they just have a bunch of dickheads. They have no
Yeah.
leaders.
Hey, your captain doesn't stay has been staying on the field, and the only times he's not is because either they're telling him health wise he shouldn't be on the field, or he actually isn't healthy. Their captains are not being on the field because they genuinely, I think, don't want to play for the club and are just.
I
getting
agree.
released.
Yep.
And that
Well, no,
shows-
I
that
think
shows
Van
a
de
lot
Ven
about
is
it.
just not good, but Romero, I think, is getting red cards.
Because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be there.
He's been doing that, but yeah, Van de Ven's. I think it's their true colors. Like you're showing some really awful stuff there. So back to what you were saying about them potentially getting moves away. A lot of these guys might be in for a rude awakening playing 46 games.
Yeah, I only feel bad for 3 people in this whole thing. My homeboy Hatch, Nick, and Dari's dad. Those are the only 3 people
real
I feel
people.
bad for. Yes, those are the only people I feel bad for. Everyone else, it's honestly the comedy is good enough for me. Alrighty, that was a great episode where we didn't really hit on our teams very much. We really nailed on the North London Derby. I feel like a good amount there. So Facundo will love this episode.
Oh yeah, we just trashed him like 5 minutes in, bro. Like, hell
Talked
yeah.
about a
I
bit
can't
of
wait to see him.
refereeing also. He's gonna.
Oh yeah, I quoted him too, and he's gonna be like, "Dude, you left out the whole conversation." It's like, nah, bro, you don't understand. Like me and Thomas are like pleading, like, "Please, do you not hear yourself?" Like it was like Thomas was just like, the meme, the Japanese soldier who kept fighting. Like it was that's what Thomas was doing. I was like, "Stop."
So good. So good. We love you, Fac. Not your club, but we love you. You're great. We'll leave it there. I'm going to point real quickly and make sure that I'm pointing in the right direction because last episode, on our Cosmos episode, it wasn't. So is this correct?
What? You just
pointing at both of us, you fucking idiot.
This like cross-armed, I'm pointing in the right direction at you guys.
You didn't say who was who. You just pointed at both of us.
It's in the right direction or the wrong direction?
The right. You're not giving us a name.
Like, is this?
That's me.
That's you. Okay, sorry. Crossed. I'm pointing in the right direction. Is the crossed? Okay, sorry.
Again, you need to identify which finger.
Knowing how many issues I've had with this, you guys should have known that if it was crossed and I was pointing in the right direction, it is a cross.
But I don't know what direction because you're not saying what.
No, what I'm saying is we've had so many incidents of me being wrong doing it not crossed that should have been the giveaway.
Go like, subscribe, and comment.
Pro podcasting, episode 88. If you're an American, you like the galaxy, follow Cosmos. But to the 340 of you, 341 currently subscribed. Thank you. Whoa, we went up. Get in. Come on, guys. You know what? I'm not even gonna say our names. With the way that this has gone, this has been Clash of Clubs. This has been episode 88, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
2 words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.